Self-esteem comes from being able to define the world in your own terms and refusing to bend to the judgments of others. When you are chasing your inner drumbeat of happiness, when you are striving towards becoming something where you're able to create this positive impact that influences your friends, your families, the neighborhood, even your country, even the world as a whole, as you're striving towards this, you are going to face opposition. There are going to be people who tell you that your idea is reckless, unreasonable, too expensive. It doesn't make sense. It's already been done. They're going to have lots of reasons why success is just not in your cards. But you find that your self esteem is a reflection of your ability to interact with the world, take in information, but not necessarily allow that information to change your beliefs, change your actions, and the results that you're trying to create. Today, I'm going to go into the second half. As I mentioned in the last episode, we're going to break Oprah into two parts. So today, we're going to focus on more around the idea of your self-esteem, chasing your overall goals, and creating those results that you want in your life. And last time, we talked about the idea of overcoming your fears and embracing your shortcomings. And so it's very important for you to be true to yourself, because you're going to have lots of influences. Some are going to be welcome, your mentors, your coaches, your parents, different people that you confide in. But a lot of them are going to be more circled around people projecting their own doubts on you, where their lack of belief in your ability to create your dream life is more of a result of their inability to create theirs. And so for you to be true to yourself and live the life that you want, you should follow these 5 rules of wisdom from Oprah. Number 1 is the more you praise and celebrate your life, the more of your life you have to celebrate. There is this ability that each of us have where your mind, it's been studies showing that you can only focus on so many things at a time, where your mind will block out a lot of that extra information so you don't feel overwhelmed. So when you have a limited ability to focus, you have this obligation to attune your mind to focus on things that are productive, things that will help you to accomplish your goal. And one of the easier examples is someone who has changed the way that they're eating, where they no longer want to eat at the same maybe fast food restaurants that they usually eat at. You will recognize that that person is still only going to be able to see fast food restaurants because that's all they've ever attuned their focus to. That's all they've had the opportunity to sit in and eat at. So all of their memories, all of their experiences bring them back to the same fast food restaurants, even though they've made a conscious decision that they no longer want to go to them. So what should they do? Well, what they need to do is they need to spend equal amount of time creating new experiences in the new restaurants. So you're already operating from a conscious mindset because you're like, okay, my subconscious is full of all the stuff that I no longer want to do. So and now let's go to Google. Let's look up some places that you could eat healthy food at. Let's look at the menu items so you can start thinking, this is what I'm going to order here. You find that your mind does not have the ability to tell whether something is real or something is a dream. So the cool thing is when we get to watch movies, we get really involved in the movies where sometimes we cry, we get angry, and we know that these are actors and everybody's okay, but it doesn't change the fact that our mind believes that this is a real experience. So we fall into a great story and we start feeling a certain way. Even sometimes you leave the movie and if it had to do if it had to do with anybody where you may think of someone, you're going to react with them a certain way. Where if you had kids and someone's kids died, you may hug your kid a little tighter. If it was maybe someone being betrayed by their spouse, then you may tell your spouse, get away from me. I don't want to talk to you right now. And it's a cool thing in the sense that it allows you in the entertainment aspect, but it's an even cooler thing when you use it in your personal development aspect. So spend that amount of time visualizing yourself, looking at the menu, pretending that, okay, this is what I'm going to order. Then think about the food coming out, how it would look, whether you would enjoy it, how you would eat it, what drink you would have, maybe who would be with you. As you do this, if you do this like 20 times, now when you're thinking, okay, where am I going to go eat for lunch? Well, you've already created this memory. So now it's like, okay, we can go here, and it's going to be on the top of your mind. Most people, what they do is they're trying to create a life that they haven't created, for lack of a better term. So you want to spend a little bit of time creating that life so that you have these memories to fall back on while you're in the early goings. Obviously, as you have the experiences, then it becomes a more natural thing. But you will see that the memories that you create from just visualizing and mentally going through the exercises will be just as strong and vivid as your real memories. And it's going to help you when you're trying to be true to yourself and live that life that you're striving for. Number two, Oprah says that everyone has a calling in life. You have something that you know you were put here that you're meant to do. As I refer to the inner drumbeat inside of you as you're chasing happiness and rising to the challenge. But whatever that is, Oprah says that you want to make sure you recognize it as soon as possible, and then you live a life that honors that mission, that purpose that you feel that you have inside of you. Now, there are going to be people who will tell you that that's silly, that that's selfish, that that's wrong, and that you should do something else. And that may be their purpose. It may not be their purpose. They may not be living their purpose, and as a result, they don't want anyone to live it. And they won't necessarily consciously know this. They'll just use the same excuse that they tell themselves. They will tell you that excuse. And one of the most interesting things about the idea of being called selfish is most of the time that someone calls you selfish, what is it that you're doing? You're generally just trying to do something that you believe makes sense for you. And then what are they trying to do? They're trying to get you to do something that they think makes sense for them. So most of the time when someone calls you selfish, they're doing the same thing that you're doing. They're trying to get a certain life and a certain consistency of their beliefs, and you're trying to get a certain life and a certain consistency of your beliefs. But because you're living your life and you're not living your life for them, then they call you selfish. And so the way I usually check this is I just ask myself, what would I have to do to not be called selfish? And generally speaking, I would have to do what they're asking of me to do, which is selfish of them if you really think about it. If they want me to do what they want, and then I want me to do what I want. But we both want me to do what I want, or what they want, or the individual wants. I mean, you get what I'm saying. And I'm making light of it because it's something that comes up a lot. But I really do want you to understand that it's okay that everybody's not on board with your mission when you realize what it is that you were sent to do, what it is, the impact that you're supposed to make, that positive impact that's going to leave the world better than you found it. That's not for everyone to understand or appreciate. And you guys already know my mission is to make sure that black wealth does not hit zero in the year 2053. And so to do that, we are going to create 1 million millionaires. I want to create a $1 billion company. I understand how difficult that is. And I want like-minded people who are excited about changing the trajectory of black and brown wealth in America, and understanding that that is going to improve the lives of everyone in America, not just black and brown, but just every single person, because it's something that impacts the entire economy. So as we have more money flowing into the community, we're able to create more jobs, more opportunities, more businesses, and we're able to serve each other. And then anyone who believes in capitalism, competition is the recipe for success. We're just trying to add some more competition. And so I do think that that is something that some people overlook. But if it's someone who's aligned with me and they're excited by that and they have something to share, then that is a great thing. That is what my purpose is. That's what I am driving towards. And I've had people that have told me, and you may have seen them leave comments that's like, Dre, that's selfish. That's not what life is about. Life isn't about money, right? It's about faith, right? It's going to church and living a faithful life. And I would just say, well, all of my talents are the glory to God. And he tells me to live my life and to work as not for man, but as for him. And so if you really think about what does that mean, what he's really saying is all aspects of your life are glory to me. It's a fool that says only on Sunday morning or Sunday evening or like Wednesday, that's when you're focused on me. Like, no, it's literally an everyday, all day thing. All the glory goes to God. All of my talents, all of my abilities, all of my strength is a result of the blessings that he has given me. And so I had to get past that. And it's important that if you want to live a life that's true to you and that you're going to be excited about, then you have to get past the judgments of others too. You want to be able to recognize what it is that you believe you are here to do, and then you want to execute as best as you can, and then make adjustments as you can, because you're going to need to make adjustments. Number three is you don't become what you want, you become what you believe. And another way to look at that is you don't become what you want, you become what you do. And we really are thinking about, okay, what are we talking about? We're talking about our beliefs. Well, what is that? The stuff that you think creates the actions that you take, and the actions that you take creates the habits of your life, and the habits of your life create the results, right? It creates your life. So, for someone to believe that they are genuinely meant to achieve a certain goal in their life, are they doing actions that are aligned with that goal? And if the answer is no, then you would have to say, well, your belief is not what you're saying to me, right? And you may think in relationships where someone's like, "Oh, I love you," and you're just like, "Okay, well, love is an action. Love is a verb. So, are you showing your love for me, or are you telling me that you love me?" And I think the one of the better examples that I often find is in scripture where it talks about faith, and that faith, that you show me your faith through your actions. Not in the sense that you have to have a certain set of actions to confirm your faith, but just in the sense that if you have faith that is going to flood, you would build an ark. If you have faith in your parents, then you're going to listen to their advice. If you have faith in your job, then you're going to go there and put in the work because you know they're going to give you a check every 2 weeks. These are all actions that someone who has faith will take. If you don't have faith in your company, then there's no way that you're going to go to work for 2 weeks because you don't have faith they're going to pay you. And we are often saying that we have faith in certain things, that we believe certain things, but then our actions are the opposite. So our actions is always going to dictate what you believe, and that is going to ultimately create the results that you want. So you want to make sure that if you don't like the actions that you're taking, then that means you need to look at your beliefs and see where the disconnect is. Someone who has to make 100 calls a day, for example, if they believe that that will get them a customer, then they're going to make 100 calls a day. If they are not making those 100 calls, then they must not believe that that is going to generate them money. They would have to believe that all those people are going to say no. And while we may say, well, no, that's impossible, Dre, that nobody's going to believe that, the action says otherwise. If you believe that it was going to be beneficial and profitable for you, then why wouldn't you do it? You would have to, at some deep level, think that this is not going to work. It's going to be a waste of my time. Everybody's going to say no. I'm going to be embarrassed for whatever reason. There is something that you believe that is creating the inaction. And so you want to explore that, recognize what the problem is, address it, and then move on. And that leads very well into number four, where you get out of life what you have the courage to ask for. When you take action, when you set your standard, as I would say it, when you really are saying, this is the bar that I'm expecting, and I'm not taking anything less than that, you will rise to that challenge. Oftentimes what happens is we are saying something, but subconsciously we're like, oh, I may be asking for too much. This may create an issue. I don't want to offend anyone. If they show any sign of like they don't like it, I'm going to immediately say, or whatever's good for you, right? Like I'm going to immediately kind of let them know that this is not a big deal. And if you do that, then you're not really asking for it. You don't really have that faith, that conviction, and that standard. You haven't set it yet. So for me, there's some standards that I want to improve on. So for example, my weight fluctuates, and I would like to be somewhere probably closer to like 240, where I would feel like amazing. I'm probably running marathons and things like that. But I know that if I'm at like 250, then I'm not going to feel that bad. I'm gonna be like, hey, you still look good. You've been worse. Things are okay. I know that my standard is at 270, that I get really upset when I'm at 270 and I say, not another pound, and then I will start eating healthy and I'll start working out, and then I'll lose the weight, and then I'll get back into the 50s, and then I'll get back into the 40s, and I'll be like, see, there we go, Dre. But I need to get my standard right around that 240, right? That is my, hey, it feels good to be here. Oh, great job, Dre. But it's not my standard. My standard is saying, if you are over 270, you are going to get so upset that you are going to take action immediately. And there is nothing that is going to happen that will put me over 271. Like I will literally not eat for like a day or two or a week, whatever I have to do to make sure I stay below that. I need to get my standard where my ideal number is at. But a lot of the times we have a disconnect where, for example, with me, right, 240 versus 270, I got a 30-pound gap from where I want to be versus where my standard is. I need to get them aligned. My standard needs to be where I want to be. So that way, what I'm asking of myself, what I ask of other people, same with your relationships, whether professional or personal, what standard you set, what you ask for, what you demand of yourself and others, that's what you're going to get, because you're going to take action to create that reality. If you're not, then you subconsciously are saying, well, I'm maybe asking for too much, like that'd be nice, that's like my wish, but that's not really my expectation. You got to ask for it and you got to expect to get it. You want to put in the work and the actions that will get you the results that you want for that life that you want. And we'll end where we started. Number 5 is self-esteem comes from being able to define the world in your own terms and being unwilling to bend to the judgments of others. For you to be true to yourself and live the life that you want, you are going to have to ignore the judgments of other people. You want to experience life and all that it has to give you, understanding that you're not perfect, but also understanding that they are not perfect either. And so if you allow other people to have a higher position in your life and your own mindset's totem pole, then you're going to constantly be seeking the improvement of other people, which is going to create a codependency. And then you're going to find yourself always trying to please other people, and it's just not a fun place to be. You're going to be making sacrifices every day, but it won't be true to yourself, it won't be true to your life and your vision and your expectations for yourself. It'll just be to get someone else to say good job, and they may not even say that. You want to be able to be in a position where you can listen to the feedback of other people without it necessarily causing you to change the trajectory of your life, to change the standard that you have for yourself. People are going to project their own insecurities on you. Sometimes people just really mean well, and they just don't really get it. I'm sure if you imagine any inventor telling someone their next big invention, there's lots of people who are like, that's just not possible. I'm sorry, things just don't work that way. But for you, you want to make sure that you are creating the world that you are trying to see. And that always starts with you, right? Like, you want to be the change. You want to understand what it is that you're trying to contribute to the world. And then you want to allow that standard that you create to cultivate, to invite, and to build that network of like-minded individuals who are drawn towards you. When you live a life for someone else's pleasing, then you end up drawing more people like that person, because that's the vibration you're giving out. You're matching their vibration. And then, as I always tell you, now you've created a prison of misery where you have a bunch of people just like that one person that if you just told them thank you but no thank you, they may have left, but they definitely wouldn't be expecting you to do what they want. And then you would be repelling all the people like that person in the future. And then you would be drawing all the people who agree and think that your idea is brilliant and they want to help you create that reality. That is the beauty of staying true to yourself. You will succeed if you don't give up. And that's going to do it for us today. As always, I have a free resource for you. If you are trying to create or capitalize on your next $1 million opportunity, I invite you to download my free Lifetime Millionaire Success Blueprint. All you have to do is go to forecasthope.com/opportunity. You can download it there. It's always free. And then it gives you everything that you need, step by step, by age, when to implement certain products in your life. If you look at that blueprint and you want a professional, then I'm always available. But you could definitely do it without me if you wanted to. But I'm definitely here to help, ask you questions. We can kind of bounce ideas off each other, right? Iron sharpens iron. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed listening to this, I just ask for you to subscribe. I appreciate you guys' support and encouragement. Until next time, I'm Dre. Continue blessings on your journey to become the champion of your dream life. And as always, better self, better wealth.